Hey guys, Blessing here, and how are you all doing? Good evening to all of you, and I am glad that I'm finally doing this live stream. I have been planning to do this like more than a week ago, and like I said, I'm very glad to be finally doing it. So, we all know that the presidential debate took place approximately 2 weeks ago, or maybe a bit less than 2 weeks ago, between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. I found it such an intriguing debate because it was the first one for Kamala, and Donald Trump is like highly experienced in this. And of course, we know a lot of people had an opinion of who did better than the other. And of course, I also do have an opinion. And just for that singular fact that I find it such an intriguing debate, and there are just so many things that were said and done, and things that I wished were not said and done during that debate on Donald Trump's side, for example, because he is experienced in this, like I said, and on Kamala Harris's side, she's still going to learn. There are some things she did. I was like, okay, maybe when she watches it, she's going to make adjustments. So the whole essence of this video is personal for me because we started it, I think, some months ago, where we really talked about what happened with Joe Biden, falling off, the race, if you will. And Kamala, surprisingly, well, a lot of people didn't find that surprising, taking over from him. And just to continue in that same vein, I'm here today to tell you what I think about this debate. And I also promised you guys that I would be following the entire election, the entire journey leading up to the main election, the main voting, and just everything, the inauguration, everything that you can expect to happen. But today we are here. What I'm gonna say in this video, let me start here. A lot of people might not agree with me. A lot of people might not like me anymore after after this video. I know you're still going to love me, but you might not like me. I hope your dislike is going to last only for an hour, and tomorrow I come back, you continue to love on me. I'm not American. I'm not a citizen of the United States. I am not going to vote. So whatever I say in this video is my own personal feeling, my own personal idea and opinion about everything that I heard during the debate. And I do hope that whatever I say does not influence you from voting someone you would naturally not vote. So again, this is really personal to me. I am not an expert, not a political expert whatsoever. Okay, let's go into it open-mindedly. No bias. So I am, like I said, I'm not American. So whatever I say here really doesn't matter. I'm not going to vote. I'm not voting for Donald Trump, neither am I voting for Kamala Harris. So I'm just here, sitting here today to analyze these two people, like just regular people. So I'm not here in support of either of them. I'm just looking at them as two people who had a debate, and I want to talk about the things that they did well and the things that they maybe can do better next time, and who, for my feeling, I feel like did better. Focusing on this debate alone, yeah. Okay, I think we should get started. But if you're here, you're watching the video, go ahead and say hi in the comments. And I'll take that second to share the video on Facebook. So go ahead and say hi. Let me know you are here. Let me know you are watching. Let's share this one. Okay, so let me start by just introducing you guys. I know many of you watching this video now. Hi. I see you, Jacqueline. Hello, Pam. Not my subject, but I'll be interested. Okay, nice, no problem. Nicola, I see you. Welcome to the live stream. You guys are watching on Facebook, and I see Sherry on YouTube. You guys are watching on YouTube, and now I see Sherry on Facebook. Welcome. Okay, so I'm just gonna start with how the debate started. Kamala walked in, and I saw or I sensed that she was nervous, which is not out of the ordinary. That is normal. Yeah, it was her first time. And I could almost hear her breathe when she walked in. It was tense. And she stretched forth her hand and she shook Donald. Now, they asked the first question. And the first question the moderator, one of the moderators asked was about the economy. They asked specifically, they asked Kamala, she got the first question. They asked her if America was better off than it was 4 years ago. So they just asked, do you think America is better off than it was 4 years ago? And I should say, so I'm just going to take every question chronologically, the way they came. So this question, I'm going to tell you that the way she answered, I was not impressed. The way she answered made me question whether she came into that debate prepared. When they asked her that, I mean, if you're running for president, this is one of the questions they must ask, especially if you're from the ruling party, the currently ruling party. So the way she answered it, or the things that she said, either means she was not prepared, or the answer to the question was no, the economy now is not better than it was 4 years ago. So she maybe tried to dodge that or talk her way out of that. So instead of answering yes or no with arguments as to why she felt that way, she instead started to talk about what she would do for small businesses, how she would give $50,000 tax deduction to startups. And then she went further and started to talk about her opponent. She said, my opponent's plan is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations and sales tax. And in my mind, I'm like, you didn't answer the question. They are asking you about the economy now. Do you think that the American economy now is better off than it was 4 years ago? You could have just told us, yes, I think it's better off because we've provided so many jobs, because this and this and this and this, export, whatever. Or you could have said, no, it's not better off because of this and this. But she didn't do that. Instead, she was talking about her plans. So for me, that was a fail for that question. Yeah. And then Trump came in, Trump answered, and I'm going to say that, your experience also plays a role. And I know that he has done this so many times. He was confident and he said he has no sales tax. And in my mind, I'm like, he just crumbled Kamala's answer, because what Kamala answered was that Donald Trump plans to, or he's going to have sales tax, however she put it. And for Trump to just confidently say, I have no sales tax. And then Trump, for me, he was strong in mentioning everything that is wrong with with the economy, and everything that has affected everyone and the economy itself. He talked about immigration, and also about immigrants taking jobs, which sometimes I just feel like statements like that are extreme. You cannot blame immigrants for taking jobs. If the citizens, the people that are already there, had those jobs, the immigrants would never come and snatch those jobs out of their hands. So the jobs are there, they are available, and the immigrants take them, if at all. Yeah. So you're not going to blame newcomers for, bettering their lives. But that aside, wait, okay. He said, and then he went ahead, just trying to show that, his time was a better economic time for the US. He said he created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country. And he said he would do it again and even better. I found his answer strong, stronger than Kamala's, because Kamala just dodged that question and was saying things that they didn't ask her. Then they went back to Kamala, like wanting to really hear from her about the economy. Like, let me read comments before we continue. Okay. Hi. I see you guys joining. Welcome. Okay. So, when they went back to Kamala, because I think the moderators really wanted to, they weren't satisfied either. So, that economic question was not fully answered. They were not just satisfied. So, she continued and she was like, Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. The worst public health epidemic in a century, the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. We have cleaned up. So she then digressed a bit. She said, what you're going to hear tonight is a lot of lies and name calling and a dangerous plan called Project 2025. And that was the point she lost me. So she started more or less to sound like Donald Trump. Donald Trump would throw out accusations without even fact checking, sometimes without even being careful of whether or not whatever he's saying carry weight, like hold water, or they are really factual. And for Kamala to bring in Project 2025, I thought that was weak. I didn't think she should have gone there because Donald Trump has not accepted Project 2025 with his full chest. He has always said, I know nothing about it. I'm not part of it. I'm not behind it. Why are you then accusing him of being there? You cannot be forcing something on someone that is clearly saying, it's not me. So you cannot use that as an argument. It's only when Donald Trump really says, yes, I stand behind it, or I'm part of the commission, or whatever, then you can hold it against him. But you cannot be accusing someone based on nothing. You don't have proof that Donald Trump is behind Project 2025. So I was like, no, don't go there. But anyways, she mentioned Project 2025, and that he intends on implementing that he intends on implementing it if he were elected again. And okay. And then she went on to say that the American people want a president who understands the importance of bringing us together. Again, I just feel like, or I felt then when I watched it, like she did not answer the question on the economy. And economy is like number one on the list of, it's just really important. And for me, it was weak. Her response didn't just convince me that she was a powerhouse. I expected more from Kamala. I see her like that woman, that strong woman in the midst of men. But that whole economic question and the way she answered, or the answers she gave, it made me start to look at her differently. Like the way I saw her kind of like dropped. So again, I don't know if that was just a strategic way for her to dodge that question, or that was just all she had in her arsenal. So they continued with Donald Trump. And Donald Trump was like, as you know, and she knows, I have nothing to do with, and with Project 2025. And when he said that, it already discredited Kamala. It's like, okay, so you're saying that, that's why I really found it a pity. But Donald was strong in how he was just saying, you know that I have nothing to do with Project 2025. And she knows, but she's just talking out of her nose, more or less. And then, let me see. She said, everyone knows it. And he also said, what I'm going to do, which is cut taxes very substantially, and create a great economy like I did before. And then he went ahead to say, we had the greatest economy. We got hit with the pandemic. Again, you cannot blame Donald Trump for the pandemic. Okay, fine, you can blame him as the president for how it was handled and the things they did not do that they could have done, or the things they could have done better or differently. Yeah, but you cannot really blame him for the pandemic. But what she said sounded like she was blaming him for the pandemic. And then Donald continued. He said, we handed them over a country where the economy and the stock market was higher than it was before the pandemic came in. So you can just see that this man has experience. He knows what he's talking about. Even if what he's saying is not correct, but at least he's sticking to the question. He's sticking to the subject, which is the economy. So here he's selling himself. He's telling you the things he did well or the things he did right. Whether or not now it's true is another thing to investigate on or to look back upon. But the fact that he was on subject, he was on point, talking about the economy and what he did well, for me, put him in a better place than Kamala. Kamala was not saying anything about what her party or how her party is boosting or helping the economy to boost, which again is a pity. Now, Kamala came in. So we are still on the economy. You can see the back and forth. Kamala came back in, and guess what she said? I keep getting all these notifications. It's crazy. Let me see. Wait, let me see if I can turn down. Okay, I'm going to put this one on airplane mode. The other one I cannot, but maybe I can turn down the volume. I don't know. Okay, let's continue. So Kamala came back. Guess what she said? She said, I'm offering an opportunity economy. Donald Trump has no plan for you. Like, Madam, we are not asking whether Donald Trump has plans for us. We are asking you about the state of the economy. For me, that number one question it set the pace. It set the pace for me. It started to, like, I've never, before that debate, I had never actually seen Kamala in action for like more than 5 minutes. But that debate, she was there for an hour and I could just hear everything. And I'm going to say I have a different idea about her now. Hopefully the next debate will be better than this one. And then she said, okay, I already said what she said. And then she continued. She said, anyways, after she said that she was offering an opportunity economy and that Donald Trump had no plan for the American people, they just continued to go back and forth, both of them, both Donald and Harris. They were turning in circles. They were more or less repeating the same things. And at the end of the day, Donald Trump was like, she doesn't have a plan. And that hit me. Like, the crackdown started. She doesn't have a plan. And another thing that I noticed, and I think this is something that Kamala might need to work on, like maybe next time. For those of you who watched that debate, you would see that Donald Trump was always facing the camera. He has his face like in the camera the entire time. I don't think he at any point tilted his head to the side. No, not tilt. He didn't shift or turn his face towards Kamala. Even when he was answering questions or talking about Kamala, he would not turn his head towards her. He was looking straight into the camera the whole time, or looking at the moderators, just straight on, like. And that does something to the viewers. All these things I'm mentioning are a bit psychological. You're in a debate. whose attention do you want to catch? The attention of your opponent or the attention of the people you're trying to convince? And I think with that tactic, Donald Trump did a better job. He was able to catch the attention of the audience, to get them to listen to him, to be drawn into whatever he was saying. Kamala, on the other hand, kept looking at Donald. She would turn her entire body and face him. So that subconsciously gives the impression that Donald Trump has a more important message to deliver than her, even if that might not have been the case. But that visual presentation of all eyes on Donald, including the eyes of his opponent, while when Kamala would talk or would speak, Donald was not looking at her. That is one thing. And it's just it's body language now. I'm looking at both of them. I'm looking at who is standing like a president. For me, at that point, it was Donald. Because you're looking at so many things. As a neutral person, like, okay, Blessing, you have the chance to vote. Based on this debate, who are you going to vote for? All these things matter. I'm not only listening to what you're saying or what points you have on your table or the lies you want to tell me, the plans that you are claiming you have now. I'm also looking at, are you believable? Is your body language speaking something else? Another thing that I noticed on Kamala, which hopefully, she's going to work on these things for next time. She would make faces in response to Donald Trump's statements. Donald would say something, maybe crazy, maybe awkward, and she would react with her face like, huh? Like she would be like, and then she would shake her head, and she was so drawn into him, into what he was saying. And sometimes she would put her hand under her chin. Like, so for me, she was not just herself. She was not just, I don't know the word to use. She wasn't just standing tall. She wasn't just standing like, I got this. She wasn't standing like, I'm here to whoop your ass. She wasn't standing like, I'm the next president. I'm your next president. She was standing like, okay, this is the vice principal of my secondary school, and I have to act like a big girl. But actually, he maybe knows more than me. He has more experience than me, but I'm going to act like I know a lot. That was the vibe I was getting from her, putting her hand under her chin and laughing in a way, like not really laughing. She wants to show a face of, I'm laughing, but the laughter is not really real. It's just awkward. It's just a lot that I was picking, and I find it a pity. I was hoping for more, like girl power. So that first question, in my mind, I was telling myself, okay, this is her first time. This was the first question, and she would do better as the debate progresses. I was encouraging myself. And boom, the second question came about abortion. And I'm honestly going to tell you that I think she did better with the abortion question. Now, let us look at how they both did. They asked her again, why should they trust you on the issue of abortion? Well, they asked Donald Trump, sorry, why should they trust you on the issue of abortion? We are looking at executing babies after they are born, abortion in the ninth month, exceptions. Let me see, exceptions of rape and incest. And the moderator said, there is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it is born. Because Donald Trump also, I think he failed this abortion question. I think he failed this abortion question, especially where he said, they execute babies after they are born. He even mentioned the state. And that was when the moderator had to chime in like, okay, that is nonsense. the person didn't literally say that is nonsense, but the person countered that statement by informing him that, look, that thing you just said about babies being executed after they are born, there is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it is born. So for me, he failed it. Then they went to Kamala, and Kamala said, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not a surprising fact. So it was a good thing for her to quickly use that opportunity that Donald Trump was, in quote, caught in a lie. So she immediately grabbed that opportunity. I feel like that was strong. That was, looking like someone in this business who knows how to quickly use that against their opponent. Because again, that's what I said at the beginning of this video. Donald Trump just throws certain words and statements out without fact checking, which again is a pity. He did it a lot during the last, presidential periods, and he's doing it again. I find it a pity. You can just be throwing things out there that are not confirmed. You cannot be doing that. And then Kamala went on. She said Trump abortion bans in 20 states with no exception for rape and incest. Kamala then went deep. She held a speech, and the speech was captivating. The speech she held was attention grabbing. She did well. I think with this way she answered the question on abortion and how she really took it almost personal, she was almost emotional, she was talking with that tone of, I feel for those women, and for you to be hearing it for a woman, it sounds different. It hits home. You know what I mean? So that was the tilt for me. It was looking better for Donald Trump, but immediately Kamala started to talk about abortion. I felt like, okay, we are getting there. We are getting somewhere. So Donald Trump came in and he was like, I'm not in favor of abortion ban. Again, we are still hearing them go back and forth. Kamala is accusing him of banning abortion. He is saying he is not in favor. So the moderator then asked Donald Trump, would you veto in the national abortion ban? That was again another point where Donald Trump failed, in my opinion. They asked him a straightforward question. Would you veto in the national abortion ban? For me, for someone who says, I am not in favor of abortion ban, that was just that would have been an easy question for him to answer. Would you veto in the national abortion ban? He could have just said, no, because I'm not in favor of it. But he couldn't answer that question. So that gave me the impression of someone saying one thing, but not actually believing even what they are saying. They're just saying it because it sounds right, because it's politically correct. That is what I get from there, or I got from there. And he said, well, when they asked him that question, he said, well, I would have to. So I'm like, you'd have to because you have to, or because you want to, because you stand for it, you believe in it? Oh, well, I would have to. And then he continued. He said she will never get the vote, just like the student loan. So he kind of like dodged again. He didn't answer the question. And then he jumped to Kamala. Oh, she would never get the vote. We are not asking you about Kamala. I don't know if this is just a political trick that politicians use when they are in the hot seat. They try to just shift attention away from themselves. So the moderator went back and said he should answer yes or no. Would you veto in the national abortion ban? Yes or no? Guess what Donald Trump said? He said she would never get this approved. Like Kamala would never. They are not asking you about Kamala. Do you understand? So he could not answer. And then Kamala was like, people are being denied IVF treatment. So Kamala went on with, all the different examples of things that just are going wrong. She even talked about a woman who I believe lost her life or something because she had to go to another state, to get treatment. And then Donald was like, that's a lie. I've never been a leader on IVF. And so they still went back and forth. On the abortion question, I think Kamala, we are still getting all these messages. I think Kamala did better. So we are going to say 1-1. Donald Trump did better with the economy question. Now Kamala came back with a bang. Okay, let me sit down properly. I'm going to read your comments later. Let me just... Okay. Guys, let's share the video. If you're watching, go ahead and share. Okay, the next question was on immigration and border security. The third question, yeah? So they asked Kamala, why did the Biden administration wait until 6 months before the election to act? And would you have done anything differently than Biden? When they asked her, she said so many things, and she was like, Donald Trump killed a bill that could have solved the problem, and that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I'm like, lady, what's happening? Did you prepare for this debate? They're going to talk about the problem with immigration and all the immigrant issue. They're going to talk about it. They're going to talk about border security. Is this all you've got? You want to tell us that people are leaving Donald Trump's rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom? And then she continued, she was like, we deserve a president that will put you first. And as I promised you, I will. That was her answer. The question was, why did the Biden administration wait until 6 months before the election to act? And would you have done anything differently than Biden? She couldn't answer. So again, just like she did with the question on the economy, she didn't answer. That's a pity. That for me, she got all these opportunities to show how strong she was and to show why people had to vote for her or for a party. She didn't, in my opinion. With these two questions, she did not do that And then Donald Trump was like, the moderator asked Donald Trump why he killed the bill. And when they asked that question, you could just see that Kamala was still, I hope you guys can still hear me. You could see that Kamala was still focused on Donald Trump. When it was Kamala's turn to answer a question, Donald Trump would not even look at her, like she's not even there. But when they asked Donald a question, Kamala is like staring at him. So she's bringing or drawing everybody's attention to Donald. So Donald is sticking in your head. You're seeing him more than you're seeing her, And then Donald Trump, when they asked him that question, guess what he said? He started to talk about people eating dogs, cats, pets in Springfield, Ohio. And then he said, if she becomes president, this country will end up being Venezuela on steroids. I laughed. I laughed when I heard that. I was like, oh my God, I love Trump. Well, you know what I mean when I say he just knows how to make you laugh, And for me, he failed again because they are asking you now why you killed that bill. Well, maybe he didn't really fail. Maybe he was just trying to give the reasons why he did. Because if you want to tell us that the immigrants were eating the dogs, the cats, the pets, people are going to be worried, right? You wouldn't have a choice or another a better choice than kill the bill. But the bad part of doing so was that that statement was baseless, which again is a pity. Donald Trump, you cannot be doing that. And let me show you what I found on, I think, TMZ. The cat eating suspect is American with mental health issue. So the person is not even an immigrant. It happened actually. It happened that someone ate a cat. But the person is an American, not an immigrant, as Donald Trump, um, as he alleged, which again is a pity. You have a media team. You need to be confirming stuff before you go out there and spew it. It can always work against you because people will be like, "Oh my God, you're such an extremist. You're saying all these crazy things. You're lying. You're." It's not gonna. Oh my God, someone is calling. Hello, good evening.
Something real quick about the statement you made about the cat and the dogs. It wasn't just baseless. It was a lot of people read it as being stereotypical and racist because they claim, it's a thing out there that people claim that Haitians eat cats and Chinese people eat dogs. So it's a known thing out there for people to be stereotypical, placing that on people of other races. So a lot of people took it as a part of his racism. You get what I'm saying? It was just a dumb statement. He's a wild card, and he says things sometimes that people are like, what? But this particular thing that he said, people took it as racism. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to add that. Anyway, carry on.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate your analysis, and I know you're not taking any sides,
no.
but I trust your analysis.
Thank you, dear.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, so immediately he said that, like I said before, I love that part where he said, if she becomes president, this country will end up being Venezuela on steroids. I just love figurative statements like that. Anyways, immediately he said that, about eating the dogs, cats, pets. The moderator said that the city manager told them that there were no credible reports of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by immigrants. And Donald Trump's defense was, well, I've seen people on television. Oh my God, I held my heart. I've seen people on television. People can do pranks. People can lie. Actually, yeah. People can make things up. I don't know how credible it is. Was it an official report that it happened? Or you just saw it on television and okay, based on what, And immediately he said that, Kamala laughed at, the entire rhetoric, which again is another strong thing she used, just the same way she said, I told you you're going to hear lots of lies today. So she still grabbed that chance to laugh down at him. So the debate was looking balanced. They were both going back and forth. Now, let me move on to the next one. So I found my notes, guys. I told you yesterday. So they talked about the deportation proposal, that he would mass deport over 11 million immigrants. And the FBI saying crime rate has gone down is a fraud. He talked about, the FBI saying crime rate has gone down, is a fraud. And then Kamala Harris was like, coming from someone who is being prosecuted. And then the moment she said that, the moment she brought in the prosecution, I think he was expecting it. Of course it would come up. Of course your opponent will try to use something that personal against you, whether necessary or not. But she did. When she did that, Donald Trump looked like he saw a ghost or something, but his reaction just told me that he saw it coming. He knew it would happen eventually, so he was ready for it. And I think she tried to talk about the housing shortage. So Donald Trump gave a strong response after that. He talked about the weaponization to win election. He talked about, all the prosecutions was just a way to win the election, and then he referenced his case that was thrown out a month ago, and then he also strategically brought up the fact that he said, I took a bullet to the head because of what they said about me. Boom. Now they started to go, okay, you are being prosecuted. Okay, because of you, I got a bullet to the head. So they both of them started to go. And then the moderator was like, why have so many of your policy positions changed? I think the moderator also gave an example of something she stood against before and now she's trying to support. So Kamala was like, she would not ban, is it fracking it's called? She will not ban fracking, but we need to invest in diverse sources of energy. Initially, I believe she had been against it, but now she's, succumbing, but saying that I am still believing what I believed initially. I still also believe that we need to invest in diverse sources of energy so we reduce our reliance on foreign oil. So that one was just, okay, both of them were just on like tiptoes on that one. And then they went on with Donald Trump. They asked him if he had any regret of what happened at the Capitol, which also he should have expected they would ask this question. When they asked him that question, he couldn't answer immediately, directly. He just started to go on and on, asking why the people in Minnesota are not prosecuted. So he continued to fall back on the statement Kamala initially made about him being prosecuted. The moderator was like, Oga, answer yes or no. Do you regret what happened at the Capitol? And Donald Trump was like, I had nothing to do with that other than make a speech. I wasn't responsible for security. Nancy Pelosi was responsible. She didn't do her job. And I think that answer was quite strong. What else do you expect from him? I think there was maybe a better way he could have answered, that. But I think in whichever way he would have answered, it would still have been used against him. So maybe this was just his best way to say, look, it's not my business. Which really, thank God he didn't even say it this way. Thank God he didn't say it's not my business, because people would be like, all the people that were hurt and maybe even killed, you're being nonchalant, being indifferent, more or less. So I think he was just safe. He played safe with how he answered. And when Kamala Harris answered, I think her answer was strong. She was like, I was there. The moment she said it, you just wanted to listen to her, coming from an eyewitness, someone that experienced it firsthand. She said, I was there. I was the vice president, and I was also an acting senator. On that day, the president of the US incited a violent mob to attack and desecrate our nation's capital. The moment she started to talk like that, I was like, okay, you're on fire. And then she started to regain that confidence. She started to, so that again made her started to look better. And then she said a number of law enforcement agents were injured and some died. So she did well with that question, better than Donald Trump. And the moderator, um, I think the moderator said something about losing by a whiskers. Yeah, the statement about Donald Trump always claiming that, because initially Donald Trump would say that he won the election, the one Biden won. Yeah. And then afterwards, he made another statement saying that he lost by whiskers and about losing the election in 2020. So the moderator asked him, do you now accept that you lost? Do you now accept defeat? And Donald Trump was like, well, that was sarcasm. Again, he failed. This is not the first time Donald Trump would make an error, and when he's caught, he would be like, well, I was just joking. Well, that was sarcasm, but that wasn't sarcasm. We all heard the statement he made about losing in 2020. So there's no way he could have turned it around to say, oh, that was just sarcasm. It was not. So he kind of like, he said what he shouldn't have said by saying that he lost in 2020 when he had always maintained that he won. But, so Kamala was like, world leaders are laughing at you. The American people deserve a president that is not confused about facts. Again, making a statement like that at that point where it was relevant made her look like a stronger candidate at that point in time. Because we know how the elections went. Everybody knows that Donald Trump lost. At least I want to believe that it was a free and fair election. And if you guys don't think that it was, please let me know in the comments. So for him to still be insisting that he won or he didn't lose, we're talking about America, not some country in Kumbumtu. Let me not mention the continent. You know what I mean? So she immediately again grabbed that opportunity to say the American people deserve a president that is not confused about facts. So that started to make it tough for me. Like, okay, who is leading in this debate? Who is doing better? And then they progressed to the war in Ukraine and Russia. So I think she was stronger. She was very strong. Um, in the reason she met with the president of Ukraine and she shared information with him on how to protect his national sovereignty. Donald Trump then said that the war started 3 days after she went there to negotiate with Zelensky and Putin. And then he added that she's a horrible negotiator. Immediately, Kamala was like, he lied. I met Zelensky 5 times, and she didn't even go there for any peace negotiation. So again, that's still what watered down Donald Trump's position. Like he's saying all these things that people can just figure out whether it's true or not. Again, I always find it a pity. I think Donald Trump could really make for a good president, but there are certain things you shouldn't just be saying. It does so much to your credibility. It does. So they moved on to the case, the subject of race. Kamala was still very strong, her being not fully Caucasian or whatsoever. She was very strong in her answer. And then when they said, okay, closing remarks, she was also very strong with the way she closed. Donald Trump, I believe, was also very strong. And what even made him beat her in that closing remarks, in my opinion, was when he said, why hasn't she done it in 3.5 years? Because in her closing remarks that were very strong, she mentioned so many things that she would do, and she was really potent. She stood there confidently and talked. And Donald was like, Madam, you've been there for 3.5 years. All these things you just used your mouth to say. Why haven't you done them in 3.5 years? So, yeah, it was a tough one. That brings me to the end of a rundown of what happened during the debates, the things that were said and how they answered. So, before I tell you who I think did better, I'm going to read some of your comments. Give the video a thumbs up, guys. If you're watching, close the window you're watching from or you're commenting on, the comments window on YouTube, and you can, you see the video, give it a thumbs up. Let's read comments. Before I tell you, and don't worry that, oh, maybe when I read some comments, I'm going to be I'm going to be influenced into choosing someone else that I would normally not choose. No. Someone says Harris won point blank. He talks about Haitians eating cats and dogs. He didn't like Obama. He don't like blacks. He stopped poor countries like Africa from coming here during his year in the White House. Yeah, for me that was, I followed that part of, the conversation then, but I'm not going to say that I followed the reasoning behind it. I knew the impact it had on so many Africans, or let me just say in that case, Nigerians who could not travel to see their relatives just because they are Nigerians or people from Iran or whatsoever. I found that a pity. However, like I said, I did not research why, the core, the reasoning behind that ban when it happened. Let me see. Someone says the economy is better than 4 years ago. He left Biden with a pandemic. Okay. Someone says she was definitely prepped extensively. All these politicians are proficient in avoiding and evading. Yes, I noticed that a lot with her, which I wasn't expecting. Being a newbie here, I was expecting her to bring more fire. The only reason you'd be evading and avoiding, in my opinion, is when you've not really done your job. Or when things are I'm not to blame her now, but when maybe things in your party are not looking good. So you're going to try to avoid questions that would expose you, But Donald Trump also evaded and avoided questions, no doubt about it, but she did it more than he did. Oh, wait, I'm not pronouncing her name correctly. Her name is Kamala. Her name is Kamala. Like when you make a comma behind Kamala. Okay, so it's Kamala. Someone has to call me now to teach me how to pronounce. I'm pronouncing it, I think, the African way, Kamala. So maybe it's Kamala. Okay. Let me see. Someone says, the thing is, Trump lies. He's racist and a criminal. Ooh. Okay. Jacqueline says his answer was a lie. That's the thing that I also said, that he needs to be careful with the things that he says. He might be saying those things to just make his case stronger, but because they are not really based on facts, people will term those things as lies, which again is unfortunate for his position. So honestly, he needs to be careful. He left Biden and Kamala a mess. Okay. Someone says, yes, he did accept 2025. He put his MAGA to do it. Please get it. Well, I have not seen him accept 2025. I have really studied 2025, and there is no place I have seen Trump accept it. If you do have a video, a picture, a news article, please share with me. But what I know of him is he has always denied any knowledge of, whatever those people or, the people behind it are doing. And as long as he has not fully accepted it with his full chest, we cannot hold him responsible for it. We cannot do it. Someone says he's lying. He fully well knows what project. Okay, yeah, that's possible. It's possible that he's lying and he knows. But as long as he is not saying, yes, I know, yes, I am, there is nothing we can do about it. We can only accuse, but it's not going to hold water anyway. We can only suspect. We can only suspect and, say, but no. Okay. Someone says the economy here in the USA is number 2. The abortions number 1. Okay. Oh, really? Okay. Someone says I would never vote for him. Number 1, he don't like black people. He lied to the world about COVID. I want to prison is going to tell us the truth. The word of president, like all callers, not okay. She's an absolute powerhouse. Okay. Okay, someone is saying I should pronounce her name properly. Okay. I will learn how to pronounce her name. Someone says the economy was a mess. He was lying. Okay. He was poor handling the pandemic period. He handed them a mess. Okay. Okay. There won't be another debate. He said, hell no. Trump made a fool of himself, period. He doesn't have a plan. Okay. Okay. Trump liked to keep confusion going in the world. The man lost so much. It's just like, what is he gonna lie today about? Who wanna wake up again on the TV every day doing something crazy? He made eye gestures to the left. He's afraid of her. Okay. Trump is the make the rich richer and us the people poorer. That is why Trump lost 2020. Okay. Trump did not look at her because he's a clown. Well, that actually is better for the camera. Trust me. He might not have looked at her because he's a clown, but it's in his favor. Why? I mean, she can stand there and be looking at him, but looking from the side of the viewers, from the side of the audience, it does him better than her. She is giving him that much attention, like, oh, Mr. is talking, Mr. is speaking. But when she is talking, it's like, okay, someone is just talking there. If you understand what I mean. It's almost like ignoring someone. It's something that just speaks to your psyche. I don't know, maybe there is a better way to explain it. Like two people are talking or arguing, and one is putting so much energy and making the other one feel important, but the other one is more or less just ignoring that other person. Who do you think people are going to take more seriously or think they have more than the other one? The one that everyone's attention is on. That is the vibe that I got with that. Someone says, we need something new, not old. He's been president once. We all saw the way he disrespected the White House then. I was actually talking with my husband about this whole thing the other time. And my husband was like, he turned the White House into a family, into a community, whatever. I don't remember how my husband said it. My husband was like, his daughters were in office. His sons in law were in office. This one, that one, that one. Like, my husband was like, no, he made a caricature of the whole being a president. He treated it like a family right, a family affair, you know? Well, someone says he couldn't intimidate her, okay? Someone says she was absolutely presidential, a woman with class. Okay, I see that I have so many, so many Kamala fans and supporters here in the comments. That's excellent. That's wonderful. That's good. Okay, someone says Donald failed big time, and he doesn't have any tolerance and professionalism. Okay. Someone says the last 4 years things have improved for me, but Biden said it would take 8 years for economy to be back the way Obama had it, and it will. The debate was 2 weeks ago, and I know who won. Okay. Wow. Okay. Someone says Kamala was one of the highest, toughest criminal persecutors in California. She knows her ground when it comes to debating. Exactly. That's my point, that I did not see that. Unfortunately, I didn't see the fire. Some people, they will be in a debate with you. When you open your mouth, the listeners are jumping. They are like, fire. I don't know if I was sitting there and I was just listening to her talk. I mean, she had some great points. She really said some very strong, beautiful things, but she didn't come with that fire that I wanted to see. And that's just my feeling. You guys might have perceived it differently, but for me, maybe I just expected too much. Too much. Maybe. Someone says he never answers his questions and he always says what comes to his mind. Okay. Hi, Pamela. Someone says he was very disrespectful and that is racist. Was he? Someone says he did no research. All this man does is attack people, and it's the immigrants who are being attacked. It's that I find a pity, blaming immigrants for criminality and things that are just not right and whatnot. I find it a pity. Some immigrants basically just need help. And as a sovereign nation, you should always be able to provide humanitarian aid when and where necessary. Don't just shut everybody out and just put everybody in the same category and just, no exceptions, nothing. That, he could do better on that. I agree. He peddles conspiracy theories. He doesn't want immigrants in the US. He said that if elected, he will round them up and send them back to where they came from, his words. I'm just going to say this. When it comes to this not wanting immigrants, there is a broader term to it. He doesn't have the power to just round everybody up, all immigrants up. As president, he doesn't. If you talk about illegal immigrants, for example, if he has plans to do such, it's not going to go down well with a lot of people, quite all right, but he would not be the first president or leader to do that. It has happened in Germany. It has happened in the Netherlands. Maybe not in such a severe way as it did in Germany. It happens in different places as we speak. It happened recently in Dubai. It happened in Libya a couple of years back. It happened even in Nigeria. You guys might have heard the slogan, Ghana must go. All Ghanaians were sent packing. Ghanaians in Nigeria, that is. It happens in so many places that people are like, okay, we need to do something about this broken immigration policy that we have. We need to clean out the illegal immigrants that are just no good. Look, if you look at this part of the world, like in Europe, we have a welfare system. There are people who are just no good to the economy. They, in fact, migrate to this part of the world only in order to benefit from the welfare system. When they migrate to a country like the Netherlands, for example, their plan is just to come and be beneficiaries of the social welfare that the country has. They are not planning to come and work. No, it's not part of their agenda. They are not coming to come and study to better their lives or to contribute to build that country. No, they're just here that, oh, in this country, they give, for example, 500 euros if you have 3 children. They are already planning to migrate to come here to just sit down in the house every day and collect money, free money. So, again, if he has plans to clean out whatever needs to be cleaned out, I do not think he's just going to gather everybody who is native or non-American just because you're not American. You don't, I don't think he has the power to do so. I'll never understand how so many Christians can blindly follow the least Christ-like guy in the country. Okay. They will start because, let me see how many comments we have. Okay, yeah, I can read them. Not too many. They will starve because without immigrants, there is no food. The white collars will not go farming and clean their homes, hotels, restaurants. Okay. He championed an insurrection against this country because he lost the election in 2020. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Someone says she was not the president. He's trying to make it look like she was in charge, and she was vice president. She is vice president. Oh, yeah. So she is a representative of her party. So she can actually be held responsible. She is not the one maybe calling the shots, but yes, she's standing there for that party. She's just not an outsider coming in trying to become president. No, she's part of the current ruling party. So yeah, she's like their mouthpiece during that debate. But I do understand that, yeah, some things he was throwing at her, he was sounding like he was standing in front of Biden. I think there was even a point where, no, was it during that debate that she said, I am not Biden? Oh, I can't remember. Anyways, someone says, whoever thinks that Kamala, you guys have not called me to teach me how to pronounce her name. Whoever thinks that Kamala is going to be there for the Black community, don't be fooled. Obama was not. Biden promised but also failed the community, although the community showed up and supported. Someone says Kamala didn't have to be prepped. She's one of the best prosecutors in this country. But she was standing there running for president. She wasn't standing there for the award of best prosecutors. You can be the best prosecutor, but are you also the best potential president? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, okay, have you been able to convince me enough? That's where I'm heading to. I know that she has that powerhouse. I know that she has that resume, that heavy backlog. Well, not backlog, that heavy, how do you say that now? The good CV of this is what I've done, DA and whatnot. But the new office she's running for now, that's where I'm looking at, not where really you're coming from, but where we are going to. Let me see. Someone says, okay. Someone says he has said tons of times that he has nothing to do with 2025. Yes, he has. Okay, let me see. Hello, good evening.
Hey, blessing me again. I just want to add something else that and a lot of people taking sides about who to go with. And for me, I'm appalled and disappointed in both of them. I can't believe that the greatest country on earth, this is the choices that we have for president of this great country. I really can't believe it because, Kamala is inexperienced. I think she's there as a token, black and a woman. Trump is a felon, a sex offender, a misogynist, and obviously racist. And these are the two choices that we
have. What did you say about Kamala first? Why is hers wrong?
She's inexperienced.
Oh, inexperienced. Okay.
Yeah. She's inexperienced, and also it just makes me think that there's greater forces at play, and that these two people are just actors in a play that are orchestrated by a greater force. That's what I think, and I'm not talking about God. I'm talking about more powerful people, because people think that when the president get in, he can do whatever he wants, but the president don't have that kind of power. There's a system of checks and balances and all sorts of hoops that he must go through to jump through to make the things that he says he's gonna do.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So we have to look at the bigger picture. That's why I said I'm a bit disappointed. It's the first presidential debate I've ever listened to in my life.
Oh wow!
And it was like a freaking cartoon.
Yeah.
It was a joke. I don't feel like I was listening to two learned, intelligent people that are capable of running.
Yes, I agree with you.
A great country as this. So that's what makes me think that there's greater forces at work, and these two are just pawns. And once again, people are being divided. Just like in COVID with the black guy, when the cop step on him neck, it's just division over again. People that you and them are friends, or you and them were okay. Now everybody taking sides and people getting offended, and it's a disgusting display. It really is. So for me, I'm disappointed in the whole thing. Yeah. I'm disappointed in the candidates. I'm disappointed in the system. And I don't know. Anyway, that's my opinion.
Agree. Thank you. But before you go, how do you pronounce Kamala?
Kamala.
So it's just Kamala. So why are they saying
I think so. That's what I think. I might be wrong.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye. Okay, so we're just going to say Kamala. Let me see. Someone says he turned the White House into a family affair. Okay. Someone says, as an Indian, I'm embarrassed by Kamala. Why are you embarrassed by her? Why? Someone says Kamala never gave any answer to any questions. I feel that way also. There are some questions she really was strong in, like the question of abortion, like I said before, and also talking about the Russian-Ukraine war. And the reason she was really strong with the Russian-Ukraine war was because Donald Trump made some statements that were not really true. And then she was able to use that strongly against him. But every other question that she got asked, she just was saying something else entirely. They didn't ask her, for example, about her plans or what she would do if she became president. No, but she kept repeating her plan to give small businesses $50,000 or startups. Yeah, startups. And she just kept repeating. And I'm like, Madam, it's not only startups that make up the population of the country you're running for. How about other groups of people? How about the elderly, for example? So many other vulnerable groups, so many other, you know, corners and sectors that, you know, you can tell us your plans. For me, she sounded like her main plan is to help startups, is to give them money. People, you know, people who want to start a business or start a company or whatsoever. How about the rest? How about people who do not have what it takes to start a business? How about stay-home moms? You know, how about students? What are your plans for all those groups? So for me, her plan is good, but her plan is limited, in my opinion. Because that was the major part of her plan that she kept repeating, like she wanted to speak to the hearts of prospective people who who want to start up a business or something. I don't know. Okay, let's continue to read comments and then I'll tell you what I think overall. Someone says, Blessing, if she came with that fire, the debate would be done before they even started, as Trump would attack her in so many. I'm not saying that aggressive fire. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying intellectual fire. That you will be spewing facts and energy and things that he will be like, oh my God, she did her research. She did her homework. Oh my God, I cannot rescue myself out of here. I'm not talking going angry or no, that's not what I mean. I'm saying standing there strong in your shoes and dishing out all, like, ah, honestly, I just didn't feel it. She didn't give me that ooh la la feeling of yes, go girl. I didn't have that moment. The only time she really captured me was when she talked about abortion. And I could just relate, you know, hearing it from a woman. It made sense. It made me feel like she knew what she was talking about. That was the only time she had me. But I want a presidential candidate that can make me sit at the edge of my chair, like, oh my God, I can't wait for you to become president. I had that with Obama. I did. Obama made me sweat. Like, I had it with him, but I don't have it with Kamala. Honestly, I don't know how you guys feel. I think a lot of people that are really rooting for Kamala are rooting for her because of her roots, which for me, it's always unfortunate to love or hate people because of what they look like. You understand? I want to see what you're bringing to the table. Do you have it? Do you have the fire? Obama had it. I rooted for him, not because of what he looks like, no, but because I knew that this man, this man will do the job. He had it. But again, it's my opinion that I don't have that same thing I had for Obama for Kamala. Okay, illegal immigrants are taking jobs away from blacks and Hispanics. Okay. Someone says America is a country of immigrants. Unfortunately for him, but he doesn't respect. Oh, plus he doesn't respect women. Isn't his wife is a. That's the irony of this whole case. His wife, in fact, when he became president, before, the first time I heard her speak, I remember it was my husband and I that listened. We were like, we held our breath, like, what? She's not just an immigrant, she's a real typical, like, and I was like, no. And a lot of people, I think the thing went viral, and people were like, Madam, don't just talk anymore. Don't just try anymore. And I think after that, she didn't really come out. People made memes of, that speech she made. I can't remember what it was exactly about, but so she is a concentrated immigrant. So for them to say for people to say that he hates immigrants, there is just something behind it. There is more to it than meets the eye. Let me see. Oh my God. I thought these comments were not this much. What's the time? This video. Okay. We're going to round up very soon. Let me just see. Um, Someone says illegal US migrants or immigrants do the jobs that the most Americans think is too dirty or lowly. I'm gonna say this, as humans, as normal people, you and I just talking, we would want to say, no, just open the borders, let immigrants, uh, illegal. Now you're saying illegal, which even makes it worse. You understand? Let illegal immigrants just come in. You know, they will help the economy because all the jobs that other people don't want to do, they will help do it. But when you are in position, in power, let me say in power, you have a leading position. You are a custodian of the Constitution. You are making policies and all of that. The last thing you want for your country is to be lenient with illegal immigration. And this has nothing to do with being racist, being hateful of migrants, but it just makes you a good leader, that you're protecting your borders, that you just don't make your country, because at the end of the day, full is full. It's a certain saying in the Netherlands: when it's full, it is full. You cannot just think of it as you are the head of a home, a house, and you have a budget. Okay, we have 10 people in this house. You have a budget. This is what we are going to eat. it's enough for 10 people. We still have contingency, in case, and then you just leave your door open. When you do that, let me give you two scenarios. You're home with 10 people. You still have a backup plan that, okay, even if someone else comes in, this is how we can accommodate them, because you know who is coming in. You know how many are coming in. You know what you can provide for them, what you can give them, what you can expect of them, what they can expect from you. Everything is coordinated. But when you leave your doors open, you don't know how many people are coming in. You don't know who is coming in. They are not registered. You don't have their fingerprint. So if anything goes wrong, you don't even know who to hold. Your home will be in disarray. It has nothing to do with, oh, I don't like outsiders or I don't like strangers. It's just about you having control of your home. Now, you can bring policies. You can put policies in place to make sure that immigration is done in a very coordinated and structured manner. You have to put controls in place to ensure that people that shouldn't be in should not be let in. If you're too lenient, like you said, it's going to be Venezuela on steroids. You know why? Once they know that the borders are open, everybody, the whole of Africa will be in the Netherlands, will be in Spain, will be in Italy. When they hear that they are allowing us, they will all come. Or when they hear that, oh, it's not structured, they are just laps. Everything is just loose, they can just easily swim in and swim out. They will flood in. How many homes or how many houses are there in the Netherlands to accommodate all these people? Medical care, education, health care. You understand? So it's not, for me, it's not about hate alone. It's just about the policies in place are not strong enough. Something needs to be done. That's why I have a bit of understanding of, look, if you say, okay, we're just going to close everywhere, nobody is allowed to come in, then it's ludicrous. It doesn't make sense, because you need migrants. You need skilled workers from abroad. You need people to bring new ideas, innovation. You need that exchange of knowledge, of whatever. You cannot be a loner. You cannot close the borders. You cannot shut other people out or shut yourself in. It's impossible and it's insane. You can't even imagine it. However, making sure that only the people who need to be in are allowed in. Donald Trump would not be the first. I always say it. I live in Europe. It is just what it is here. They are very strict on their immigration rules. You understand? So it's not, I know people want to really use that against him, but I don't see it as a strange thing for someone to say, okay, I want to be very strong when it comes to border security. No, because for me, it's something I live with every day here. It's just normal that, no, you understand? Otherwise, trust me, the whole of Asia is inside Europe. Tomorrow morning, they are all here. They are all here. And yes, crime rates will go up. And that does not mean that it's only immigrants that commit crimes. No, it's just that the numbers will increase because you have more people flowing in. It's just a normal and natural turn of events when that happens. Let me see. Oh my God, 5%. Okay. Someone says, personally, I don't mind foreigners coming to Europe and profit from the system. The Europeans took enough away from their countries because of the slavery trades they build up their countries. Okay, so they are coming. Okay, so they are coming now to take from the Europeans, but they are not taking the Europeans as slaves. No, that's not a good way to. Anyway, I respect your opinion, but I don't think that's I don't think that's a good solution. Is it like to revenge what the Europeans did, or to also become slave masters to the Europeans, or what? To come and be collecting peanuts? How does that better their lives? How does that better the journey they made into Europe, for example. No, it doesn't solve anything. For me, it's even slavery mentality. You're going back to the people who captured your forefathers to do what? The same people, you're going back to them to take from them. That's still mental slavery in a way. You understand? Because why would you, as the descendant of Slaves, I don't want to be repeating that word, why would you, as a descendant of that, go back? You travel all the way to go back to those people who did that to your forefathers, and you're still collecting crumbs from them. Because when we talk about also going to Europe to profit from the system, we are not talking about millions of euros that they will get from the system. We are talking just a couple of hundreds of euros. That's like slavery in itself. Trust me, sis. That's not a good. I know a lot of Africans do that. I know so many Africans do that. They will say, "Oh, after all, I will not work. I will not work for anybody. They came to our country and took us as heirs, and blah blah blah. I'll come here and also eat their taxpayers' money." But how much are you eating? You're eating 800 euro, 900 euro. What is that? When you can be making thousands of euro, close to 10,000 euro. Like, that means you're still a slave. Because an average European doing normal, well, having a job, paying taxes, he can make thousands of euros. And you, because you think you want to profit from them because of what they did to your ancestors, your forefathers, you're still eating peanuts from them. So that slavery is still there, unfortunately. For me, I would never advise anybody to do that. Never. Never. You should rather get what you deserve. Don't go for what they can miss. What's that thing they are profiting? Because when you are in that welfare system, you don't have that freedom also. You don't. They are monitoring your every move. You're having appointments, you're going there, they are asking you, okay, you have to do this, you have to. No, it's not life. It's semi-slavery. Trust me. So no, that's not really. It's not the way. Let me just put it that way. If you are ready to leave your country, your comfort zone, to go to another country, be also ready to work and have a better life than you would ever have in your own country. If you go to another country and your life in your original country of origin is better than that foreign country, it's better you go back or you don't even make the move at all. And I'm not talking about when you are in the process of bettering your life, because nothing good comes easy. You don't just expect yourself to come to a new country and immediately things are settled and balanced. No, if you're in that journey of building, yes, things might be rough. Your life might not be better than it was before, but you know where you are headed to. That's different. But not that 10 years after you migrate, 15 years, your life is in. And I'm like, just go back or don't even bother coming. Don't. You understand? Because people migrate for a better life. If that better life is not guaranteed, then sorry. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Okay. Oh, really? Why? I keep getting booted off. Why? Someone says Kamala is one of the most experienced and qualified presidential candidates for president. No other presidential candidate has her experience as vice president, now running for president. Okay. Someone says both candidates are just okay. Not my choices, but we are stuck with them. We are stuck with them. We don't have a choice, you know. I'm voting Kamala. Okay. Kamala has more experience than Trump. Trump didn't have experience when he ran for his first term. Okay. Kamala is more qualified than the last five. Oh, really? Ooh, that's a big one to say. Qualified as what? More qualified as what or in what? You have to be clear with that. She just happens to be a female and is held to a higher standard. She has more experience than all of them combined. Oh, her name is pronounced Kamala. 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 Okay. All right. Kamala. Let's see. Yes, I also don't think COVID was handled well. I still remember 2020, and I would be watching the news and I'll be like, no, no, Trump, no, no way, no way. And he also got COVID, you guys remember? And people were on long waiting lists to get the vaccine or something. And he went in, and like 2 days later, he came out walking. And we were getting the news of people being hospitalized, um, put into what do you call it? Like being, God, I can't even come up with the word now. What's that word now? Put in, is it solitude? Like to separate them, ostracize, whatever. We were hearing people gasping for oxygen. Like people were dying because people didn't even know what COVID was. For us, it was just that deadly thing that you don't want to have. And Donald Trump got COVID because he didn't even believe in COVID. And then he got it. But guess what? 2 days later, he was walking out of the hospital with his own legs. And I remember feeling like, wait, so COVID is not something that just strikes you and you are paralyzed. And so it was a confusing, for me, generally, I don't even think they handled it well. There was so much information misinformation at the time, and just so many conflicting reports. And it started to look like they were blowing certain things out of proportion to put fear into people. And on the other hand, China was hiding cases. It looked like, you know, they were hiding cases, like the numbers were much higher. So it was just too confusing. 2020, many of you remember you were indoors. I was indoors for the most part. So yeah, I think they could have handled it better. But hey, um, Kamala. Okay. It will be a depression if she is elected. Someone says, I'm embarrassed she's playing politics like in India. But she's not even really Indian like that. I mean, like, no, don't get me wrong. She didn't grow up in India, did she? So you don't expect her to even run politics or do politics like in India, because I don't even think she has knowledge about deep politics, deep Indian politics like that. Pure corruption. I'm from the state she comes from. Okay. What did he say about Russia? Well, he alleged that Kamala was there to do a peace negotiation between Zelensky and Putin. That's what he alleged. But that wasn't the case. And he said she didn't do a good job at that because the war broke out 3 days after she left, after the peace talks. Yes, I agree, man. Someone says, my thing is, elections are always promises just to get power. I don't take sides in politics, but credit must be given when it's due. Absolutely, I agree with that. And when you're making those promises, here is where I find it interesting, and that's why I'm even doing this video. When you're making those promises just to get into power, come strong. Convince me. We know that at the end of the day, you will make 10 promises, you only accomplish 2 or even 1, if at all. But while at it, make sure you're able to convince me. So I cannot I cannot watch the debate and say, okay, Donald Trump is not going to follow through. He's not going to accomplish anything. And I can also not say, oh, Kamala is just making empty promises. I cannot say that. I cannot, based on that debate. But what I can say for sure is who was able to convince me that they even have a plan or a promise to make for me? Who do I believe? Someone says, but Trump does not like the truth. He's like horror. Oh my God. We are heading for communism. Trump wants a dictatorship reign in America. How would anyone vote for this man to take away your rights and freedoms? Illegal immigrants are coming in or coming from the jails of Congo and Asia. Someone says, I don't really like her, but that is who they have, and one just have to work with what they have. Exactly. That's what the caller also said. Like, okay, this is what we've been given. This is what we have to work with. You understand? Just imagine how things went during Obama's time. That was a real American debate, like American. It was tough. It was just sweet. I followed everything, and this one, if you look at the level now compared to Obama's time, you can just tell that no, 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 no. Someone says the elderly have their medication price. Oh my God, so many comments. I was really hoping I'll finish quick, but I might just stop reading comments. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop reading comments in 3 minutes. I cannot read everything. I'm going to stop reading comments in 2 minutes, and then we are going to round off, and I'll tell you what all of you have been waiting to hear. Okay, the elderly have their medication price reduced, including the most expensive medication like insulin, Eliquis. Started business will get money, and parents will get the $6,000 per year and $25,000 for first-time home buyers. She answered, "Okay, not me. We already gave Trump a chance, and he failed." Yeah, I think that's the position of many people. Like, okay, Trump, you were there before. The fact that you were not voted the second time says a lot. You were there before. And one thing that I remember of Trump when he was president, one thing I still remember, or one of the things that I just see when I saw him then, was he just didn't care about what you thought, what you said. He just wanted to have his way. It was Trump's way or the highway. And honestly, that might look a little scary. Like, you're supposed to be the president of the people for the people. But it was just Trump making tough decisions. But he got things done. He got many things done. But maybe the way that he went about certain things, it was just so. Some of you understand what I mean. Like, so we don't even know if he would, like, what would happen if he got reelected. That's I think the fear. Okay, I think it's time to stop reading comments. Someone says his wife is, well, I do not know that. I do not have information about that. Okay, now let us get to the interesting part. So, like I said, what happened when he was president, my feeling of him, that I didn't want to follow, because it would just be depressing to know that this president is just powerful and he would just say it and he would go for it. Like, if you have your opinion, he might not even consider your opinion. And I'm also not going to, I don't want to look into the past, and I don't want to even look into the future with my conclusion. I want to look only on this debate, or only at this debate. I'm not doing the full review of who is better generally, or who has more experience. I'm looking purely at this debate, how they both performed. Like I said at the beginning of this video, some of you would dislike me, but I know that tomorrow you will come back and love me. But today you're not going to like me anymore because of how I'm going to conclude. But one thing you should remember is that when it comes to politics, when it comes to who you align with, it's a very personal thing. You cannot really get mad that someone believes what they want to believe, or they want to vote for someone they want to vote for. Many of us, all of us, we have our ideals, we have our principles, we have our moral compass. What I believe strongly in might not be what you believe strongly in. What you look out for in people might not be what I look out for in people. And in all times, we should always respect what people want for themselves. What I want for myself, because of where I am in my life, is definitely not the same as what you want for yourself. So you have to choose the president that you think will give you that thing that you want for yourself. And me, I will go for the president that I believe would give me what I want for my life. You understand? So when it comes to politics, again, it's not the best place to be angry. Oh, how can you be voting for Trump? Oh, how can you be voting for Kamala? She doesn't have the experience. Oh, he's this, he's that. I think we should just focus more on who can lead the country forward. But that is still looking at the bigger picture. Me, for this video and for this review, I'm not looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking only on this debate that we just talked about. Now, based purely on the debate, and I've read out some of the things that were said back and forth, I think the debate was like average. It didn't feel like a tough presidential debate the way that I know it. It didn't feel that way. It just felt like two people having a back and forth argument or conversation. I wasn't impressed by them. The questions were good and expected. The answers were okay. People not wanting to take responsibility of what has gone wrong, for example. So based on this debate, I think they both did well. They tried. But I'm going to say that, so for those of you who are going to dislike me, make sure I see you tomorrow, because you'll come back. However, I said it before at the beginning, but maybe some of you came late. Whatever I say now really doesn't matter. It's just Blessing talking. Blessing is not American. Blessing is not going to vote for Kamala. Neither is Blessing going to vote for Trump. So it really doesn't matter. It's just me analyzing based on how I feel and what I saw during the debate. However, here is my conclusion. Based on this debate alone, in as much as I feel like they both tried, they both did well, and Kamala, being her first time, she tried. She can do better. I know she has more in her than she showed last time. But if I had to choose one based on this debate, not based on what you've done before or what you are capable of doing, no, based on what I heard from both of them, if I just had to choose a president, someone I can believe will get the job done, I would choose Trump. You understand? And I'm not saying, oh, Blessing, if you would choose, or if you had the opportunity to choose the one that would be a better president, the one that you would love, the one that would make you happy, the one that would give you all the things you need, who would you choose? No, that's not the question I'm answering now. The question I'm answering and why I'm mentioning Trump is, Blessing, if you had to choose who would get the job done, I would go for Trump based on the debate alone, not the overall picture. Yeah. And the reason I'm saying Trump is Kamala did not really convince me. She was not strong in her conviction. She didn't make me feel like I could believe her that she was going to get the job done. Let me just put it that way. And maybe she has it in her to get the job done, but I just felt like it was a lot of talk, and it might still end up being a lot of talk if she became president and little action. But I'm seeing Trump like that pragmatic, practical president that would just go out there and get it done. However, having said that, I still feel like even having a president that you're sure would get the job done, there's still a little danger to it, which I still mentioned before, like, someone who just says, this is what is going to happen, and that's it. That's the final. He has the final say. There's still a little risk to that. And that's why I don't want to look too much outside of but. That's why I'm focused only on this debate. If I had to choose one, not the person that did better, because I think they were both they had their ways of, like someone said in the comments, evading and avoiding. Sometimes one was stronger than the other. Sometimes the other one got the opportunity to crack down. But the one that made me feel like I'm honest, what you see with me is what you get, not the one that is saying something and, well, I don't know if she really believes in what she's saying, or she's just saying it because she has to, for example, which Trump also had moments like that. But overall, on this debate alone, I think Trump convinced me better. So that's my opinion. Like I said, don't do anything with it. It's just me. So you might have another opinion, like, no, I don't think so. I think she did better. Fine. That's, we all agree to disagree. We are all human at the end of the day. Okay, so that is it for now. That is my review of the first and maybe even the last presidential debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Go ahead and let the conversation continue in the comments. I would still love to hear what you guys think. Let me put that picture back up. What do you guys think about it? If you agree, if you disagree, and why? I would really love to read all of that. In the meantime, I would say thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing the video. If you did. Someone says nobody leaves the border open. It's just something he claims. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much once again. I'm going to go now. I'll come back. I'll try to post a video later tonight before I go to bed, but I'll come back live tomorrow. Do not miss it here on this YouTube channel and on this Facebook page that you're watching from. I remain blessed, Njoh the Analyst, and I will catch you on my next one. Bye.